Welcome to my English classroom. I'm Professor Sumita Roy, and yesterday you saw the advanced level collocation part 1. Today is a video which is a continuation of what we did yesterday. I told you about the importance of collocation yesterday, which I will not repeat today. We also saw that there were many collocation mistakes which are usually made. And if we want to make our English better, we need to use the correct collocation. The correct collocations were also given in yesterday's slide. Each mistake was corrected, and we had about maybe 35 sentences there. Today, in part 2, as I had mentioned earlier in the first part, we are going to do types of collocation. Yesterday we encountered all the types, but I did not mention to you what is the type of collocation which we are using there. So today, let us look at the types of collocation. Each type, we will again take a few examples. But please remember, these few examples are only for you to understand the concept. If you limit yourself to these few examples, you will not gain all the knowledge of collocation. The more you practice, the better your collocation becomes. The more and more interaction you have with English, either in your reading or listening or speaking to others whose English is better than yours, you will get a feel of the collocation. And that would be excellent to improve your collocation and to make you confident to use the language in whatever context you have to use it in. In today's video, I have used 6 varieties of collocation dependent on the kind of words that go together. First, we shall talk about the collocation of an adjective with a noun. Specific adjectives have some specific nouns which are used with them. If you change the adjective, then you will not be able to get the correct collocation. That is the first example I had given you yesterday while introducing collocation. I said you cannot say a long tree, you have to say a tall tree. Tall is adjective, tree is noun, so that is an adjective noun. An adjective is a word which describes the noun. The noun is the name of anything. So you can see these two parts, these two words which come together and they collocate. We will have some examples in the following slides. Then you have two nouns, usually the nouns which collocate with each other. Suppose you have a sports meet, then the people who are watching it are spectators. So you say spectators at the stadium or spectators at the match. These collocate together. You cannot say audience because audience is usually a show. So if you're going for a musical show, if you're going to the theater, you're going to a movie, then what you get is audience. So noun and noun, spectator and sport, both nouns. Audience and theater, both nouns. Then you have a verb and adverb. A verb is a word which does some action. I'm sure all of you know that about verbs. So a verb often has collocation with specific adverbs. So the verb is there, an adverb is there. An adverb is something which adds, like you have the word add, verb. It adds to the meaning of the verb. So you say run fast or run slowly or eat quickly. So you are using the verb run and then you are using slowly, and slowly is the adverb. Adverb can also qualify an adjective. Maybe in one of the levels, I will do a lot of grammar. Advanced level, I'm not very keen to do grammar because for you, usage is more important. But you can always look at the other videos. You can always benefit from the other videos. So it is not as though because your English is very good, you have come to the advanced level, you need not look at the others. They are all there on YouTube. All you have to do is to go there and look at it. So an adverb, adding to the meaning of the verb, collocating with certain verbs, certain adverbs, not otherwise. Similarly, adverb and adjective, as I told you now, an adverb can also be used to add to the adjective. So you have something like very beautiful. Now, the word very here is qualifying the adjective beautiful. So you have adverb-adjective combination. Then you have noun and verb. By now, everybody knows a noun and a verb. I started the beginners videos with noun and verb because these are the two very significant parts of a sentence without which you cannot have a sentence at all. You need to have a minimum, a noun and a verb. Then you have a very important part which I mentioned yesterday also. Certain nouns have their preposition in collocation. If you change the preposition, your sentence does not collocate. Similarly, verbs, certain verbs have prepositions which collocate with them. You cannot change that preposition and still have a correct sentence. And certain adjectives also have their own preposition for collocation. So in each of the following slides, we will see one slide per type. I could not give you many examples. I've tried to give as many as possible. Let us see how that benefits you, but always remembering that this is only a building block for you. The real building comes when you do a lot more than what I'm doing here. Let us now begin with the first variety which I mentioned in the previous slide, and that is an adjective which collocates with its noun. We have the word immediate, which is an adjective, and the word response, which is a noun. Then you have constructive, which is an adjective, and criticism, which is a noun. Then you have sound. Sound can also be used as a noun, but here sound is used as an adjective. And logic is a noun. Then you have palatable, which is adjective, and food, which is noun. Then you have balmy, which is adjective, and you have weather, which is noun. Fierce is an adjective, battle is a noun. Iron, iron can also be used as a noun, but here it is an adjective. And will is noun. Will can be used as a verb also, but here it is noun. Many words can be used as more than one part of speech. You have to remember that the word is not fixed. Its function is what makes it acquire the meaning. Serious is an adjective and discussion is a noun. Jovial is adjective and manner is noun. Warm is adjective and welcome is noun. So these are the combinations which we have. If we change it, if you say hot welcome, for instance, doesn't make sense. If you say cold welcome or cool welcome, it doesn't really make the right kind of collocation. Welcome is usually wholehearted. So uh, we are talking about a culture where warmth is supposed to be very good. If you talk about our conditions, climatic conditions, then warm, hot, these are not good. So when you translate adjectives in your own language, you will find that something which is cool is considered to be a good word. But cool there implies indifferent. When you use the word cool in English, that is standard English, not like the exclamation of Gen X, where cool implies wonderful. It implies something which is very awesome. That is not the kind of cool I'm talking about. Cool would here imply that your welcome is half-hearted. So you have to be careful that the collocation goes well. I have put some sentences for you also. Immediate response. The hospital's immediate response saved the patient. Now, if you want to change either the adjective or the noun here without changing the meaning of the sentence. You have to ensure that it collocates. Suppose the response you want to put, then you can say, instead of immediate, you can say quick response. It collocates fine. But if you say fast response, it does not collocate. Quick, immediate, fast, they can all be synonyms. So you have to be a little careful when you're using collocation, because if you misuse the collocation, meaning might not change, but the quality of your language certainly becomes bad. Learn to accept your boss's constructive criticism. Criticism we usually understand as something negative, but look at the qualifying word, constructive criticism. That is, he's saying something which reflects on your work, which is not really good, but the boss says it in such a way that the subordinate needs to improve. So, constructive criticism, a learning experience. So, you can see how constructive criticism collocates also. You can also have the word destructive with criticism. Somebody, you want to insult somebody, you want to hurt somebody, then it becomes destructive criticism. The argument was not based on sound logic. Now, we always think that argument should be logical, rational. These are all important qualities when we are arguing, when we are putting forth our ideas. So sound logic, that sound means perfect, good, justifiable. These are all terms which are adjectives which are there. But which of them collocates with logic, that is most important. The hostel tries to serve palatable food to students. Students usually complain that hostel gives them unpalatable food. So here you can put unpalatable also. The hostel serves unpalatable food to students. Now they are trying to serve palatable food. So unpalatable, palatable, both can be used. That means, palate is what you have inside the mouth, which is very useful for you when you speak. So the taste buds are there and you get taste. So tasty, palatable. Tasty food collocates, palatable food collocates. If you say good food, it is absolutely zero collocation, because good is a colorless word. It is not a word which has a good, it has a proper description. We have balmy weather now after a severe winter. Warm and pleasant, not very hot, not very cold. That is the balmy weather. So you can say hot weather, cold weather, uncomfortable weather, comfortable weather. Weather is a serious topic of discussion everywhere. In fact, there are lots of jokes about how in, earlier times the Britishers were always discussing the weather. Of course, now English doesn't remain the language of that small island. It has become a global language. So these jokes might not work anymore. A fierce battle is raging on the borders of enemy nations. So fierce battle. His iron will helped him to overcome many problems. Iron here, strong will, also collocates with will. Some controversial issues need serious discussion today. So serious discussion where the collocation is perfect. Everyone was fond of him because of his jovial manner. Very pleasant, very humorous, jovial. The guests were accorded a warm welcome. Accord is to give, so a warm welcome. The guests were given a warm welcome. These are some of the sentences where we saw the adjective and noun collocating with each other. Next, we move on to the noun-noun collocation. I have given you a list: a team of players, a bunch of roses, a pack of wolves. Group of animals always have a specific name, like a herd of cattle, for instance, very commonly used. So pack of wolves, a shower of rain, a litter of puppies, small, the young ones of dog, puppies. English language, table lamp, fruit trees, fish market, family circle. Now you see, all these are nouns. Team is a noun, player is a noun. Bunch is a noun, roses are nouns. Roses is a noun. Pack is a noun, wolves also noun. Shower and rain, both nouns. Litter and puppies, both nouns. English is a noun, language also is a noun. Table, lamp, both are nouns. Fruit, trees, both are nouns. Fish market, both are nouns. Family circle, both are nouns. Usually nouns do not come side by side. You know, the noun comes at the beginning of the sentence, subject. The noun comes at the end of the sentence, object. It comes behind a preposition, prepositional object. These are all possible uses of noun. Usually when two nouns come together, we put an apostrophe. That is called a possessive case. These things I will go into when I'm doing more of grammar for the other levels. But at present, what I'm saying is that some of the uh, noun-noun collocations have a preposition in the middle, which makes it fine. But things like English language, table lamp, fruit tree, fish market, family circle, these do not have anything in between. They are used together. They have come to be put in such a way that they are usually considered as a single usage, a single word, although they are written as two nouns, but they are used as a single expression. We have here some sentences. A good team of players can win this tournament. So you are using a good team can win this tournament, you can say. Good players can win this tournament, you can say. Or you can collocate also by saying a good team of players. The chief guest was welcomed with a bunch of roses. So here you can say with roses, you can say, or you can say with a bunch of roses. You can't say with a bunch. Then you bunch of what? The question remains, but it is not clear at all. Whereas you have to say bunch of flowers or something there is necessary. There may be a pack of wolves in the deep forest, a group of wolves here. The word group, you know, these are all collective nouns. We will do a video on collective nouns. Collective nouns have their own specific term. The term itself implies plural. It is not a singular noun. Here it is plural. Although it is pack, it is single. You know, we say pack of cards, for instance, if anybody knows how to play cards. So the cards are many, but the whole bunch is called as a pack. After intense heat, there was a welcome shower of rain. So we have here shower of rain. You may choose a pet for your child from this litter of puppies. Litter is a group, usually born together. You know, many little ones are born to a particular dog. And then, you know, the dog has a word which is, of course, sometimes used as a curse word, and that is bitch. Because all of the animals have the gender now, you know, masculine, feminine gender in nouns. But you must remember that usually human gender is, you know, now because of gender sensitivity, we are removing gendered words. So for a chairman, we say chairperson. Like that, we have many changes in the language. But the, you know, for instance, actor and actress, we don't use that form. We say actor for both masculine, feminine. Poet and poetess, we don't use. Poet is used for both. Similarly, we have here, so the dog bitch form is there, but bitch is now used in other contexts also. So we can always use dog and make the gender equality in the animal kingdom also. Language is always changing. Then we have the initial stages of learning English language are difficult. You know, once you reach an advanced stage, it's not difficult at all. It's very exciting. Teaching language through games, maybe I'll do a video on that also. That is a wonderful thing to do. This There is an old table lamp in the attic. Attic is a storeroom, usually at the top of a house if it's an independent house. And this, of course, today in flats we might not have, but the attic is where you store old things. The orchard has many fruit trees. Fruit is there, you know, trees, has many trees, you can say. But here You're not talking about other things. The orchard usually has fruit trees. The fish market is very crowded early in the morning. Market can be of different varieties, but this is only a fish market. No one. Fish market, of course, also has an idiomatic usage, It has a usage which is beyond the meaning of the words, not the literal meaning, but a figurative meaning. Then we have no one in our family circle knows this secret. So you see how two nouns are used together. They collocate in this form. Let us now take some examples of the collocation of verb with adverb. In the first column, all the verbs are given in front and they are followed by the adverb with which they collocate. Adverbs are usually words ending in ly, so they're very often very easy to find, except some exceptions like lovely. Lovely is not an adverb, it is an adjective. So here, behave badly. Behave is the verb, badly is the adverb. Then you have sing melodiously, walk swiftly, win regularly, search frantically, escape easily, work diligently, scream loudly, arrive punctually, and read carefully. You can see all the verbs have their own adverbs which they collocate with. So here are some examples which we have. No one likes a person who behaves badly. Here you can always say behaves bad. Bad is an adjective. An adjective can never qualify a verb. It can only qualify a noun. So here, for adding to the meaning of the verb, you require an adverb. Bad, adjective; badly, adverb. The same word, the same meaning, but different usage in a sentence. The manner in which it functions in a sentence is different. So we say, no one likes a person who behaves badly. Similarly, she sang melodiously and got a prize. Now you can say she sang well, nothing wrong in it. But look at the quality of the language which improves. Look at the depth and color of the language which improves when you say she sang melodiously and got a prize. She sang well doesn't have the impact which she sang melodiously has. Walk swiftly if you want to reach on time. Suppose you're going slowly, you're going at a pace which is not good enough. Then somebody tells you walk swiftly if you want to reach on time. This lawyer wins his cases regularly. Now you say win regularly collocate with each other. But here they are not side by side. Win is here, his cases in the middle, regularly at the end. The reason is because win requires an object. It is a transitive verb which needs an object. So his cases gives you the win the object, and regularly, although it is far away from the verb, it still collocates, it still reflects on the verb itself. Wins, how often? Regularly. They were searching frantically for the lost treasure. I never thought you would escape punishment so easily. Now, again, the same thing. Escape easily. But punishment and so have come in the middle, because again, escape has the same problem. Uh, Escape is a verb which requires punishment, which is its object. You must work diligently if you want a promotion. Work diligently. Together, we are giving it the collocated form. In case any of you finds that some of the words which are used in these slides, in these presentations are unfamiliar to you, you don't use them very often, then please try to find out the meaning of these words, use them regularly, practice them in such a way that you will get familiar with the word, and in this way you will increase your ability to speak the language well. The frightened child screamed loudly for her mother. Screamed loudly is together. On the interview day, try to arrive at the venue punctually. Now, arrive punctually at the venue, that also you can say, or arrive at the venue punctually, which is a better structure. Read all documents carefully before putting your signature. This is what everybody tells you, I'm sure. If you go to a lawyer, if you go to a bank, if you go to an accountant, they all tell you, read all documents carefully before putting your signature. So here we have, the word put and signature also go together. Not write your signature, not do your signature, like we saw mistakes in the earlier video. So many such mistakes are made, but the signature is always put. Signature is not written, signature is not made, it is always put. So we go on to the next slide. Here we have adverb in front followed by an adjective. I have mentioned to you that the adverb helps to clarify the meaning of a verb. It adds to the meaning of a verb. That is one function. It can also add to the meaning of an adjective. So here we have that form. Absolutely right. Absolutely is the adverb and right is the adjective. Breathtakingly beautiful. Surprisingly tasty. Brightly colored. Color can be used as a noun. Color can be used as a verb. When you say colored, then it becomes adjective also. Colored can be used as verb. Colored can be used as adjective. Children colored the book. So you are using colored as a verb. But here, colored paper. So paper, what kind of paper? Colored. Now look at the spelling also. This is very important because COLOU is used in the British form of spelling, and O without a U is used in the American form of spelling. So when you use your computer, usually it'll underline. If you write COLOUR, then it will underline because it expects COLOR. But these two versions are accepted. You can change the pattern to UK or US and you will get the different spellings which are there. These are all things which you need to know in order to be able to use the language appropriately in the right context. Depending on the context, you can use the language as, as best as possible. So here we have absolutely right and, colored, highly educated, easily accessible, really capable, vaguely familiar, deeply ashamed, globally famous. Very often, we say so right, so beautiful, so tasty, so colored. It removes the beauty of the language. Collocation gives some depth to your language. It gives some mastery over the language. The language sounds better. It sounds more interesting when you give the right kind of collocation. So here we have some sentences for all this. The manager said his deputy was absolutely right in bringing up this matter. So the manager forgot something. The deputy said, "Oh, you have forgotten this." The manager did not scold him, said, "He's absolutely right." You can say, "He's right, he's good." All these words are words which have less value. Absolutely right puts the value slightly higher. The sky at dusk. Dusk is evening time. Dawn is the morning time. Dusk is evening. These two are called twilight, when the sun is rising or the sun is setting. The sky at dusk looked breathtakingly beautiful. So breathtaking, it is so extremely beautiful that you forget to breathe. It takes away your breath. That is what it means. After all the negative reports we got, the food here is surprisingly tasty. You go to a hotel, everybody says it's not good. And then you go and say, oh, the food is tasty. So it surprises you. So you are saying surprisingly tasty. Not only tasty, but surprise. The element of surprise is also there. This shop has many brightly colored gift items. She was admired as a highly educated person. Educated again, educate can be used education, noun, educate, verb, educated, verb. You can say that uh, this college educated many famous people. So here educated is the verb form. But when you say educated person, person is qualified by the word educated, it becomes an adjective. So don't go by the word. The word itself will never tell you what is its function in a sentence. Its function in a sentence determines what the word is. The hilltop is not easily accessible to many. This exam selects the really capable candidates. The man who came here yesterday is vaguely familiar. You can't place that person. You don't really know, but he looked as though you have seen that person before. Uh, the student was deeply ashamed about the misconduct. Ashamed of, ashamed about, these are used. This artist is globally famous now. So we have all these adverb adjective collocation forms. Let us move on to the next one. This is the noun and verb collocation. Animals making specific sounds. You can take down the names of all the animals and put the sounds which they make. All of them follow this collocation. We cannot say that a dog roars. The dog barks. Similarly, a monkey gibbers. The sound is gibber. You have birds chirping. You have snakes hissing. So the sound is hiss. Similarly, you have, the cattle low, L-O-W. Like that, different sounds are there. So you have monkeys gibber, owls hoot, then bees, last one, bees sting, that is the bite of the bee. We don't say bite. Mosquitoes, we can say bite, but bee, we say sting. Now, a nightingale sings. The It is a bird, but we use the form sings. Cyclone rages. Those who live in the sea coast, they are familiar with cyclones. It is a storm at sea. Bell chimes. The bell we have. We also have wind chimes these days. You have small bells which you hang in the balcony. That is called wind chime. When the wind is blowing, they make a sound, tinkling sound. Bridge collapsed. Thorn pricks, bees sting. These are some of the noun verb forms. The first in the column, the first word is the noun and the second word is the verb. So we have, in the zoo, the children heard many monkeys gibbering. So monkeys were making a sound. The children were excited. And what was that sound? Gibbering. An owl is hooting nearby. At night time, you can often hear. Early morning, you can hear many words, but the owl usually at the night, uh, during the dark phase of the day, only you can hear the owl, usually. The poet heard a nightingale sing and wrote about it. It's a famous poem. Maybe someday in literature videos, I will talk about it. So, nightingales sing, a nightingale sing. And a cyclone which rages in the ocean affects the coast. So, cyclone rages. I was woken up by the sound of some bells chiming. The old bridge on the river collapsed suddenly. A rose is beautiful, but its thorns prick. That feeling you get when you touch the thorn, a little blood comes out or it grazes your skin. That is the prick. Don't go near the beehive as the bees may sting you. So these are all collocations. These are common collocations. Usually nobody makes mistakes in these. I have used most of the things in the second video to show you the familiar collocations, collocations which are often used. I have not spoken about something which people often make mistakes. That was in the first video where I showed you the common mistakes which are made in collocation. Here, this is a way in which you can enhance your confidence in collocation by looking at it. Now let us look at the last of our lists in the next slide. In this slide, we have the noun and preposition collocation, the verb and preposition collocation, and the adjective and preposition collocation. So in the beginning, I've put noun, verb, adjective, and then with the dash and preposition. First three words are noun: fear of, invitation to, cure for. Then the next three are verbs: wait for, listen to, suffer from. And the next three are adjectives: good at, proud of, and similar to. A preposition is a word which usually joins a noun or pronoun to an already existing sentence or a phrase and so on. So its function is like selective glue. It sticks a noun to an already existing uh, sentence. So if the sentence has a noun and you want to add another noun, you have to use a preposition. That is what noun preposition collocation is all about. Fear of heights is called acrophobia. So fear of heights. Heights is again a noun. So noun, noun you cannot have together. Fear heights does not have. Fear can be used as a verb, and then I fear heights, you fear heights. That is acceptable. But fear of heights, fear as noun, so becomes fear of. So fear of animals, or fear of the dark, or fear of difficulties. All these possibilities are there, but fear will always have the form of collocation. Invitation to. Have you received an invitation to the party tomorrow? Very often mistaken as invitation for or invite for. It is always to. So we have invitation to, collocation. To the party. So you have invitation to the party. Invitation is noun, party is noun, joined by preposition to because it is governed by invitation. Then you have science is still searching for a cure for many mental health issues. Now, mental health issues is the noun phrase which we have here. Cure is a noun. To add to both, we have cure for. So cure for this disease, cure for that disease we have. Now we move on to the verb preposition collocation. Wait for. I waited for the bus at the wrong bus stop. Wait is an intransitive verb, so you cannot add any noun to it without a preposition. For an intransitive verb, never can the noun go immediately. It needs a preposition. But the preposition is often governed by, uh, the verb which comes before. That is where the verb preposition collocation comes. Suppose you have to say, I waited for an hour. I waited for many days. Always waited for. The wait and for go together. Listen to. In the evenings, we often listen to music. Children should listen to their parents or elders. I listen to advice from my senior colleagues. Like that, you have listen to. Whatever the rest of the sentence might be, listen goes with to. Suffer from. Throughout life, some people suffer from anxiety. So, suffer from. And suffer, verb, requires something to complete it, cannot have a noun immediately, requires a preposition governed by the collocation of the verb, not by the collocation of the noun as the earlier three sentences. Good at, good is adjective, proud is adjective, similar is adjective. We have their own prepositions. You must be good at studies to stand first in class. Their parents were proud of the children's achievements. Proud about, very often misused. You know, good in, many often misused. Not correct collocation. This fort is similar to the one we have in our city. Similar with, sometimes mistake is made. So preposition collocation mistakes are plenty, and we can have one whole video on that, but I don't think that is necessary, because here I've given you a few examples. Now you yourself can explore. In these two videos of collocation, I have given you enough ideas to improve your collocation. Unless you practice them regularly in your speaking and writing, listening and reading, you will acquire the language, and you will practice your language while you're speaking and writing. Make it a regular habit to speak and write using these words, using these collocated forms. If you make mistakes in collocation, learn how to correct them. And whenever you have doubts, you can also go to, various authorities. Of course, you can always put your doubts in the comment boxes, where I will try to answer them to the best of my ability. Thank you and all the best.